Welcome, everyone, to the new and hopefully improved Fawks Talks. Thank you so much for joining. I am your host, Ronan Fox. Still with me, as always, is Cody. Say hello, Cody.
Howdy, howdy.
And, of course, Mr. Chris Solo. Say hello, Chris.
Uh, there's something new.
Yeah, I'll run it by you later. It's fine. We are changing things up a bit. We are still, of course, the flagship show and the only show on the Fail42 network devoted to all the other shows on the Fail42 network, where we build community through friendship, gaming, and chaos. But our format is going to be a little different going forward. So we had a week-long break recently, and I started thinking about, how do you improve upon perfection? And I concluded, as I'm sure many of you would have, that what was needed was not just more me, although that would be great, but also more you, the community. So I wanted to, this show's for you guys. And in that vein, we're going to be working on ways to make this show more valuable to you and increase your involvement in it. So we'll get into some of those changes a bit later. But to get started, the first change that I thought we would do is the opening segment. We're going to change how we do that a little bit. So I thought it might be beneficial to discuss some of the hot topics of the tabletop community at large and, the current events within our own campaign with a Fox twist, of course. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and get into what's going on recently in the D&D world. So first up, big announcement that happened recently was Wizards announced a new supplement. It's Von Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. It's big news because we'll be revisiting the dark and deranged world of Strahd, or as I call it, Terran's fanfic folder. This book is going to be a bit different than the 2016 Curse of Strahd and will give DMs options to allow them to create their own domains of dread with dark gifts and horrific creatures. So, if you thought Legends encountering severed hands and frozen bodies was bad, then you'd be fucking right. That shit's messed up. Someone needs to do a wellness check on Diane. But anyways, on top of the two new classes that are in the book, there's also new lineages as Wizards distances themselves from cultural benefits, which I think is great. It's about time I get to play my obese elf who slaps his belly as a war cry. His name is Patty Cakes, and he's magnificent. Speaking of lineages, Wizards is also currently running a survey for their UA Gothic lineages. This includes a Damphir, which is like a vampire, but could possibly hunger for things other than blood. Basically, like how if Ash doesn't periodically hear the sound of snapping robot parts, she starts to forget Marcus's safe words. There's also Hexblade or Hexblood, and the Reborn, which are just fancy zombies that are basically like Himian's harem. Oh god, I think I just named his anime, didn't I? Anyway, if you guys, he's shaking his head, yes. So if you guys have tried any of those classes, let me know in the chat because we would really like to know. I'm curious. Let's see what else. In other D&D news, according to the internet, I think it was comicbook.com, it appears that Hugh Grant is cast as the main villain in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Pretty cool, but brings a whole new meaning to that 4 weddings and a funeral thing, though. And I also assume that this means Bridget Jones is the one keeping campaign notes in her diary. And I'm done, I promise. No more stupid puns. But I actually am pretty stoked for the movie. But I swear to God, if there isn't a scene where one of the characters makes an ill-timed poop joke and the cast doesn't just break out into character laughing for 5 minutes until the director walks into frame to facepalm, then why are we even really doing this? Looking a little closer to home, we got season 3 Wizards premiere tonight, right after this show. Let's hope we just put the Ascension behind us, just, sweep up Astra's ashes and pick up Rook's head and just move on. Luckily, we are starting with Silverthorn, the naive group of happy sprites that are easily the worst group to process this trauma. It's like we get to watch how My Little Ponies would react if Twilight Blue becomes Twilight Glue. Anyways, tune in to see that bit of awkward. So looking at this past week's campaigns, we had Vault42. It was a big show this week. They finally stormed Robco. No sign of Harry yet, but they did find some dude named Pawn, immediately earning his namesake. He's going to be rolling death saves mere minutes after joining the group, and that's even with his abnormal as fuck armor class. I hope he lives, though, if for no other reason than the more awkward moments between him and Clay once it's realized that they both know Petra, meaning that this fight isn't the first time they shared a foxhole. What else we got? We have a Legends. Legends have now graduated from fun holes to corrupted ones. They are exploring, trying to find out why these holes are diseased. I had a doctor do something very similar, 2 weeks of ointment, and it was all cleared up. What they find, though, is more zombies and brown pants and, quote, watery ass, which I think is what happens after a long run. And then we got realms as our players prepare to head back to the civilized world. That means they finally have to bid farewell to Janice, who, good news, survived the rime, which is more than I can say for Carrick's father. The group got a new name too, no longer the Good Buddies. These battle-hardened warriors are too badass for that moniker, but not so tough that they can't continue to walk around like they just left a fucking Build-A-Bear. Either way, they're on to new places, and now's the perfect time to form a new public image, so long as they try to avoid burning down the first temple they come across. So with that, I think we can go ahead and dive into the show a little bit. Let's get it started. So Cody, go ahead and hit me with that intro. I like look over and it's already done. Okay, sorry. Before we get too far into it, real quick, big shout out to Critical Dice for sponsoring the show. Remember to use the code, is it Fabled or Fable42?
Fable42.
Fable42, that makes more sense. For 20% off non-subscription items. Super cool, even if Jason does play Leo. Okay, so normally what we would do here, we're going to continue doing it going forward, is where Solo, Cody, and I will just shoot the shit for our weeks and what's going on and whatever. So you can expect more of that going forward. But tonight, little different. Wanted to go over some of those changes I mentioned before, a sort of state of the Fox, if you will. So for starters, obviously the open exchange, I want to do more of that, hit you guys with current events. If you guys want me to talk about anything, just let me know and I'll do it. It's up to you guys. And as far as the recap style goes, it's going to be a little bit more concise and to the point. We have a lot of shows. I'm going to be doing more recaps for various other shows. So I wanted to, and we have a lot more people joining our community that may want to catch up. So what I would like to do is just hit the recaps, hit the actual facts, go through them, and have a place where people can come to actually catch up on the shows. And then we'll do the Fox spin on everything else. As far as what I'd like to see from you guys is we'll be doing a couple things. We'll be doing pre-show polls, things before that happens in the Discord, things that you guys want to see. You can force us to do something, whatever. It's really going to be a lot about what you guys want to do and what you guys want to see. I just noticed that Taryn put, can we make a poll to make Ronan shave? There are going to be moral and ethical lines to some of this stuff. I guess shaving doesn't really fall into that, but whatever. I'll make a rule. And there'll be polls throughout the show. Cody's going to be running polls through various whatever kind of pops up. Things like who would win in a fight or who would get more drunk, and then we can that's how we're going to sort of play between the campaigns, as opposed to through the recaps. Worst person for diplomacy, obviously that's Ash. And then we have things like channel point donations. We can do challenges, we can do truth or dare, different filters, different accents. That's going to be limited. I don't know who put that on there. That's going to be super limited. I have one, and it's Bumpkin. And then for the interviews, we want to do yeah, Vernon has played. Wow, that's terrible. Interviews, I'd like to do some more things with the people on the show. What are they called? Guests. And do, I think tonight we're going to do two truths and a lie. Never have I ever, whatever. We'll do different things. The idea, test your knowledge, I think would be a fun one. And then obviously some chat games too. So first person to guess correctly wins X, because no one ever does my mid-show giveaway. So I want to figure out a way to supplement that with something else. So basically the idea is that you guys could come here, catch up on what you missed, hang out, and have a good time. Often at my expense, probably. I want basically to make the show, I was telling Solo, we may not have the numbers, obviously, because it's a recap show. So we may not be the most raw number show, but I would like to have the most active chat of any show on the network. So that's my goal. And hopefully with you guys, I can achieve that. So if you guys have any ideas about what you want to see or whatever, just let me or Chills know. You can, again, put it in the Discord and we'll try to find a way to make it work. Want to hear your guys' feedback in the chat or in the Discord channel. And basically, again, this is your stuff. Tell me how you want it, and that's what we'll do. Oh my God, the first poll is should Remnant shave his beard? This is backfiring dramatically. Never mind. Anyway, I'm just gonna go back to pain in the ass recaps. Okay, so anyway, whatever. So that's what we're doing tonight. I want to go ahead and get the recaps. We have one from Vault because they skipped a week just like we did. Whatever. I might do it if you guys say yes. Whatever. To prove my faith in this community.
Stop it.
I will. If I will. I think.
Hey, Casual, if he shaves his beard, you have a new show.
What was it? The Casual Talks with Ronan Fawks, I think, is what he's pitching right now. Anyway, so we got one recap with Vault because they were off like I was. And then we got 2 from Legends and 2 from Realms. So we'll get through all of those and then we'll get to our guests. All right, so first up is going to be Vault42. They're on episode 14 and it is Robco. So we pick up this week with the group on the edge of Robco, plotting their attempted assault. As the sun sets, the Wastelanders, along with Rita, June, and her gal pals, scout a possible approach. It's not exactly the fun tweaker colony that they had just left either. Upon getting closer to the facility, they see a plethora of guards. Excuse me, I just lost my place. They see a plethora of guards, turrets, and even an assaultron. And that assaultron is very dangerous, right? So it makes that protectron look like a busted ass refrigerator. Despite all of that, they do see a hole in the side of the building, and with that, an opportunity to infiltrate. The plan is relatively simple. Distract out front, surprise from behind. Let's hope that works out for them, because when I tried it, I had to sleep on the couch for a week. I thought I was going to make jokes, but just maybe 1 or 2. Marcus, June, Rita, and friends will all be the ones hanging out in the front, while Tipper's new little bot, Herman, will attempt to distract the turrets and the guards. Meanwhile, Ash, Tipper, and Clay will sneak through that hole. As they go to execute the plan, we jump inside the building to see a guy named Pawn, who is packaging up chems with someone named Andrew. He's attempting to give Andy a pep talk on trying to escape. His disposition is oddly chipper given his current situation, like that person who has the hang in their poster in their cubicle. Little does he know his opportunity is about to bumble its way in any minute. So the plan kicks into gear with Marcus releasing the Herman bot. It completely, unsurprisingly, walks towards the turret and immediately gets turned into Swiss cheese. So many holes it belongs on Monday nights, actually. This will cause the guards to investigate. Rita will toss some bombs from her satchel of mass destruction while Marcus and June fire off gunshots. The plan seems to be working, as of all the ruckus is causing the Assaultron to make its way to the front to find the source of the commotion. The others make their way through the building's opening, and once inside, Ash does something I'm sure many of you did not see coming. She hacks a computer, which I guess is still sort of an attack on a robot if you think about it. Anyway, she sees an offline Protectron, and while she has access to its controls, decides to leave it alone. She'd rather die in a blaze of glory than to enlist the help of a walking air fryer. In the same area, Tipper sees another picture, similar to the brochure and the picture she has, depicting a man and a woman who looks identical to Tipper. She also finds a holotape. Meanwhile, Clay opens up a nearby door and is immediately forced to start attacking. This effectively ends the sneak attack, as Pawn, hearing the fighting, sees the opportunity and tries to get his baseball bat, named Lucille, back. Tipper will unleash her second new bot, lovingly referred to as Cash. The rest of the group joins Clay in fighting the Raiders as Pawn continues his own fight. Despite the Raiders, Ash, never missing an opportunity to hurt robots, sees a Mr. Handy and crushes the Speak and Say with ease. Fighting will eventually lead the group to encounter Pawn, the first of which is Clay. It's awkward. Just go watch it. Luckily, this gets interrupted when Tipper's Cash bot fires at Pawn, not knowing he's fighting with them. They will then find themselves pinned down as the boss, Bob Killer Kelso, and more Raiders fire down on the group from the balcony above. Their new friend Pawn is the first to fall. As it turns out, the baseball bat named Lucille is rubbish against a handful of firearms. Who knew? Back outside, the Assaultron locates Rita and Marcus and begins its attacks. The thing is a beast of a bot and almost takes out Rita. Luckily, it misses and ends up ripping her bomb bag open, spilling the grenades all over the ground. And as we wait with bated breath for the inevitable boom, we are forced to wait as the episode ends on that explosive cliffhanger. So that is where we are with Vault. Lots going on. We're basically dead center in the middle of a firefight. It's not over, I don't think, on any grounds, inside or out. So that'll pick up tomorrow. So check that out. And that is at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to try to remember the times. All right. So next up is Legends of Shah Gal. We're going to be doing episode 18, which is Frozen Still, and episode 19, Icy Depths. I can't say that word apparently. We pick up this past week, just after the defeat of the undead wizard Yetis outside the cave south of town. Standing in the cold, the group must act quickly as Jinx has been just pulled underwater by some entity and Rex has just jumped in to save her. Frizz looks like he clicked on one of those mail enhancement emails as he's just doubled in size to act like an anchor for someone to be used to jump in and tie it off to the rope. Cass will use this to his advantage and jump in. He uses a radiant bolt in an attempt to... hold on just 1 second, sorry. My thing just messed up. Give me 2 seconds here. I don't know where I'm at. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, this is part of the new stuff, right?
Did you break it?
Nah, I don't think so. It just went haywire for a second. Okay, sorry. Cass will use this to his advantage and jump in. He fires a radiant bolt in an attempt to give Rex some field of vision. Turns out he won't really need it, as we learn that the Traveler has now gifted him with something called Phasight. No word on if that will increase his lung capacity, though. As he swims to the area he thinks Jinx went, that is covered with what looks like a rock, but actually turns out to be ice. So not 2020 Phasight yet. From there, he'll follow a strong current that starts pulling him off. Yeah. While Rex continues his pursuit, Mata, Frizz, and Cass can hear the water getting sucked down under the fallen Yeti. Eventually, they'll watch as the carcass crashes down through the previously unseen hole. The current will pull Rex through, and our legends must react quickly, now having lost 2 members. Cass gathers up Daffodil while Mata hops on the giant Frizz before they all plummet through the opening into the unknown. Speaking of Frozen, Jinx is now taking stock of her new prison. She finds herself in a large, clear sheets of ice. Looking around, she doesn't see her captor, but what she does see is far more disturbing. You guessed it. More fucking hands. Holes in hands, really the theme of this whole campaign. Seeing this, she instinctively takes a drink before trying to thwack her way out of the cell. She can hear it cracking, but withstands her assault for the time being. She quickly stops as water begins to seep in from the cracks, gathering at her feet. She can hear the water gather and slosh up behind her. Slowly turning around, she sees a feminine figure made of water, yet not pure, as inky black tendrils course through the body. Jinx, assuming this is the ruler of the glacier, bends the knee and tries to make amends. This water lady, wet one, moist goddess, I don't know, we'll workshop the name. She doesn't deny that she's the Ilamadan and seems upset that the legends are there and wants to know what their purpose is. And after Jinx isn't really able to charm the lady or explain the reasoning, the lady gets upset and her form bursts into liquid as she flows from the chamber. Meanwhile, the ones that aren't in kitty carriers are following through the gaping hole. It opens into a large icy cavern complete with a pool of water. They immediately find themselves in danger as they realize in order to land safely, they must dodge some jagged ice that is protruding from the water surface. Acting quickly, all are spared, Frizz just barely, who will lose his large form, shriveling up into his wrinkly normal size upon hitting the cold water. Natural reaction, honestly. Now in the water, they must swim to the nearby beach. Cass will spot Rex, who is running off into one of the tunnels, and he will immediately fire a shot at Rex. Not with the intent to harm, mind you, but rather like to brand him, sort of like if Jinx tried to pee on to mark his territory. Rex proceeds into a large room with walls of ice. He sees the hands and eyes, but pushing that down as far as into his psyche as possible, he also sees a swirling vortex of water behind a sheet of ice, seemingly trying to break through. He now also has eyes on his howling wet cat he calls a girlfriend, as threatening puddles of water move toward him in a completely natural, not at all odd way. As he makes his way towards the opening, he comes to one of these puddles and it starts to freeze his leg, but he'll break free as he is greeted by that same water lady queen thing, which he assumes is the Ilamadan, but has serious suspicions. After quick introductions, he claims he is there for his friend and the ruin. Rex will continue to talk to her, which provides the necessary distraction for the rest of the group, and they try to attack the cell and free Jinx. Cass and Daffodil will make their way around to investigate the trapped water. Once in this position, Daffodil will peer into the mind of the water lady and see that she is actually an imposter, proving Rex's apprehensions correct. Feeling threatened, the lady will now attack as the fight is officially underway. However, shortly after, Cass and Daffodil must quickly dodge as the trap vortex will will eventually break free, shifting into this large water elemental. And while it looked very menacing, it did seem to want to help as it quickly got Frizz and Mata out of the way so that it could attack the water lady thing. Unable to handle the full elemental, the water lady eventually melts down and disappears. Following this, the large elemental shifts into a woman, introducing herself as the Ilamatin Weesage. How close am I? Pretty close? Weesage? I think I'm pretty close. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. Weesage. They discuss the rune stone and the other Ilamatins and the corruption of her cavern at the hand of Vecna. Full pun intended. She said that the ruin is part of her, but that she would be willing to part with it if the legends help cleanse her cave of the corruption. So now, with a new quest to complete, the legends will now set about exploring the rest of the caverns. And that's where that episode ends, and we pick up basically right after that with the next episode. So this was this past Monday. So before heading out, the legends will take a much earned long rest. They are comfortably safe and within the icy room created by Weesage. Yeah. Benefits of having an elemental god in your party. Once prepared, they set about moving through the glacier. The first hurdle comes as they encounter a few traps, and holy shit, Vecna needs to take a lesson from these traps, as it damn near caused the legends to just crumble. But in the end, the only thing that was truly threatened was Rex's shield, so all good there. After conquering it, they proceed deeper in, and it gets quite a bit darker. In addition to the walls getting more and more corrupted, they see glowing green pockets and bodies encased within the ice. At this point, it's noticed that Weesage is starting to be greatly affected by the corruption. It's agreed that going further may not be in her best interest, and they decide that it's best that she stay back and allow the legends to proceed on their own. Before they leave, though, she tells them that there are supplies up ahead and advises them to take whatever they need. Okay, so swallowing any potential fears, maybe it was just me, but either way, they press on into the large cavern, discovering the aforementioned crates and barrels that Weesage had mentioned earlier. All of the legends managed to find some sort of magical items, rings, staves, wands, plenty of items to help them in their future endeavors. And that future begins immediately as a group of undead beings, accompanied by two corrupted water elementals, attack while they are sifting through the supplies. The legends jump into action and manage to take down most of the undead and are able to move on to the elementals after Weesage used some of her remaining power to freeze the rest of the zombies from afar. With this help, they are able to make quick work ending the corrupted elementals, and now in the all clear, they are given another icy chamber from Weesage to give them space and rest and prepare before entering the heart of the glacier. So that is where we are with Legends of Shao Gal. They are basically on the precipice of entering what we assume would be the final area of this dungeon. So they're going to prepare to fight whatever the source of this corruption is. So check that out. That'll be Monday. There is still the new time that I'm still getting used to. I think it is now at 6 p.m. Pacific instead of 5:30. So 6 p.m. Pacific on Monday. Okay, so that is that's Legends. So now, last but not least, is going to be Realms of Ukador. Again, 2 episodes because I was off last week. So we're doing chapter 26, which is through New Eyes, and chapter 27, which I didn't write down the title. What's the title, Sola? You don't know either, do you? I knew it.
A Journey Ahead. The Journey Ahead.
Yeah, of course. That's what we were both thinking. A Journey Ahead. So yeah, that's chapter 27. All right. So previous week's episode picks up in the middle of a conversation between Kiwin and her now on a different plane of existence brother, Roland. She casts Sending, wanting to know more about what he did in order to bring her back to life. Instead, she'll simply learn that he's safe and can see her as she discovers a silver ring inlaid with jade within her pocket. Meanwhile, Eclipse is having a private conversation with Bird, his companion, who can now transform into an owl-like humanoid, thanks to the removal of a curse. During the discussion, Eclipse learns that he and the creature are soulbound and can only be separated by death. It's hard to tell if he was pleased by this news. Back at the tavern, Ray, who is currently piloting Nafiko, speaks to Kyriel. Conversation revolves around a couple unanswered questions for the wizard, primarily with how Nafiko works and about her past or her home, of which Ray had previously implied that she had some knowledge of. Ray expresses her hope that she can undo what's been done, but it's unclear if that's possible. But on a happier note, she will eventually talk about what it's like in the Air Ward or with other Air Genasi, which seems to bring Kyriel some comfort. But this, of course, won't curb her curiosity about how all the people within Nafika function, so she devises an experiment to test a theory. Writing an illusionary script to test Ray, Kyriel, and Nafiko, for that matter, discover that there is a way for Nafiko's personalities to magically withhold information from one another. And now I'm just wondering if that could mean involuntarily as well. Food for thought. Following this conversation with Bird, Eclipse stops by Glim's shop to get resupplied with roguish delights, caltrips, ball bearings, and the like. He will also acquire a handy haversack and a slice of humble pie as he gets his finger pricked while stealing some gold from Glim's cash register. Or no, he does. He just doesn't get poisoned from the prick. Sorry. Cats are going to cat, you guys. Anyway, he'll return to the tavern with Bird in tow. As they walk in, and the rest of the group now sees the humanoid bird creature, there is some obvious confusion. But it'll get all cleared up about as well as anything else what this party does, and they'll return to their morning meals. Clips talks to Kyriel about her past, with Kai revealing that she's worried about returning because of her aunts, who had raised her to serve their needs, something that Clips can deeply relate with. It's at about this time that soldiers start to fill in the tavern, boisterous and loud. They seem to be celebrating a victory in the south, as the group will eventually get eyes on Orgel and Gwendolyn. Despite their victory, they instead are eager to know if it's true that the party were the ones that killed Pyriel. The party isn't willing to actually confirm the kill, instead suggesting that Pyriel is indeed gone. While everyone is having a good time and all the good news, it is noted that Orgel is the only one sort of not celebrating. The group learns that he's upset about that Vritka escaped, meaning that the war is still ongoing and that he or Gold could not return to his home in Orgel Bay. But as opposed to hanging out with the Debbie Downer all night, Gwendolyn invites them to sit at her table. They reveal to her that they actually killed Voltok, her old enemy, and that Pyriel was already gone. Kai will also inform Gwendolyn about the orb she attuned to, dropping names of possible people that were connected to it. Satina, Eltora, Astar, Alora, Pogreese? Is that? All right, sure. Pogreese.
Yep, that's his name.
Yeah, that his parents hated him. Cool. Gwendolyn says that they are mostly upstanding wizards, and that the two unknown names are either dead or blocking attempts to be known. Having been gone so long, Nafiko eagerly asks if Gwendolyn can help them get home. Gwendolyn has the ability to teleport them now that the curse is removed, and gives them the opportunity to go to Wheel or Embertod. Luckily, they went to Embertod. Neither being the obvious choice, Eclipse and Nafiko recall a contact in Embertide they met when they were first traveling together, so that seems like the best course at this point. From there, the conversation will move to the war. They talk about Bricka's movements, unsure of how he was able to banish his army of thousands of orcs so quickly, speculating on what kind of magic it would take and how he might have access to that kind of power. But these are all questions that they don't have answers to yet. After Gwendolyn leaves, the group does agree to go to Embertide. It makes sense as the next stop on their journey, and so preparations must be made. Before heading to bed, the group speaks to Orgel about Vritka/Argu and how he got away. Orgel is obviously pissed at the missed opportunity, but isn't desperate enough just to go chasing after a losing battle just yet. So he tells Eclipse to meet him in a city of Luttul in roughly a month. After a debrief, Nafiko as Glib seeks out Cedric, the goblin barkeep, having limited opportunities to interact with another goblin. Glib speaks to Cedric about where he was from, and it turns out that they're actually from the same area. After overcoming some skepticism, Cedric shares some delicate information about Glib's mother, who appears to be Cedric's lost sister. Big drop there. After this discovery, the party rests in the evening and in the morning prepare for the journey home. However, before leaving, some final goodbyes are had. Kiwin and Nafiko go to say goodbye to Janice, who is still clearly a completely normal old lady. Something is definitely up there, but Janice does bestow a possible replacement group name. So say goodbye to the good buddies and hello to the Dawnbreakers. God, I hope that sticks. I'll make it so. Me and Solo will make it so. We'll just keep repeating it until it sticks. Meanwhile, Kyriel asks if Noble and Chills would like to follow them back south, and they agree without hesitation. And so they set off to the teleportation circle, Kai letting Carrick drive the Honka truck, which gives everyone a lovely morning heart attack. Everyone arrives getting ready to leave. However, as Gwendolyn begins the spell, they hear a voice from behind them. It's Cedric, who is yelling at them to wait. No longer stern and harsh, Cedric is weeping, kneeling down, begging to talk to Glib again. As he looks up to Nafiko crying, he hands her 2 items, a metal tube and paper from his mother. After this, he bashfully asks for a hug, and it was a very sweet moment. And with that, the group leaves and arrives in Embertide. They are greeted by a local guard and begin to wander the city. On the way, Carrick bumps into a silver dragonborn. They exchange pleasantries, and he gives his name. It's Roman. Spoiler for anybody who's familiar with Ukador lore. As he leaves, some of the group realize that they've actually heard this name before, and not just from season 1. Carrick and Eclipse follow Roman, but are quickly paralyzed in place as Roman questions them. The 3 exchange information, and they find out that they have a common enemy in Verdka. Following this, Roman leaves without much incident. The group continues to wander the city, selling and buying items before making their way to the tavern as a performance is about to start. As it begins, the patrons start to get rowdy and a brawl breaks out. A large creature takes a swing at someone in the crowd, but accidentally pelts Carrick in the jaw. And we await for Carrick's response as this chapter comes to a close. So that is where we are with that. We did hear, I don't know if it was canon because it was technically after Solo called it, but we do hear whose voice it was. We do know a new character's coming, and we do know that Carrick's about to punch this new character. So that's going to be great. So tune in to that. Is it Orion? Is that okay? Is that the name of the character? That'll be on Wednesday. So we'll get a lot of introductions, and some of them violent. So that'll be at 9:30. So it's 6:30 Pacific time on Wednesday. So tune into that. And that is our recaps. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and do the mid-show giveaway this time, even though one never does it. And so what we'll do is we'll take a break and we'll come back in 10 minutes with our guests. Again, if you guys have any suggestions or anything, keep dropping them. I'm going to read the chat. I'll be a little bit more responsive in chat during the interview stuff. And if you guys got anything, just let me know. And we'll see you in 10 minutes. mind me. I'm just getting adjusted. Welcome back. We are back with our guests. I will go ahead and do the introductions, and we will go ahead and get started with the questions. First up, the guest to my bottom on the screen is left. Is
it's me?
Yeah, Utahime.
I was like, wait, let me look over here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Utahime Cosplay. I'm a cosplayer and streamer. You can find me at Facebook, Instagram, and here on Twitch at Utahime Cosplay and Brianna DeCoster on Twitter. As you guys already know, I play Kizana Moonshadow from Silverthorn in Wizards of Ukador, and Ash the Super Mutant Barbarian on Vault42 on Saturdays.
Awesome. I know this is going to be awkward introducing yourself on your own show, but take it away, Casual.
Yeah, this is Casual Talks with Ronan Fawks. Yeah, I am Jordan, better known as Casual Campbell. All my social media is at Casual_Campbell. You can also find me on like half of the shows in the network and my name written across every document we write, because that's what I do. More importantly, Legends of Shalgal, Middle Earth Shadows in the North, Vault42, and the new seasons of Wizards, and an upcoming new show in which I am the storyteller, Volcania, Forge of Fate, brought to you by Gear Games. It's going to be an amazing experience, and that is the gist of who I am. Welcome to my show. I mean, Ronan's show.
Yes, and I am Ronan Fawks. My name's on the show. Actually, speaking of, since we're doing introductions, I do have a Twitter now. It's at Ronan Fawks.
Yeah.
I have a solid 20 followers, 2 of which are bots. So look me up.
You're welcome.
Thanks. G-Dub's here. Hey. He said, I know these people. He's new to our community. Give G-Dubs a shout out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, he is. I wanted to, if you got questions, go ahead and shout them out. I saw April just ask one, and we'll get to them. But first, I want to get started on 2 things that aren't related or are related to brand new things. So first question is for Utahime. Tell us about Zadia last night.
Oh my gosh. We got an opportunity to do the play test for the Dragon Prince Tales of Zadia. Of course, the Dragon Prince Wonderstorm created show on Netflix, which you guys should definitely check out if you have not seen the Dragon Prince, especially all my D&D, TTRPG lovers. This show is for you. But I was super excited when I heard about them making the tabletop role-playing game, and we got the test material through email, and I was like, we got to make this happen. Like, can we make this happen? How do we make it happen? And it was my first time kind of pitching any type of show for Fabled, so it was really, really cool. Just just how it all came together. The people at the reps at Cortex were so helpful. They were amazing and very supportive. Also at Fandom Tabletop as well, and trying to support us every step of the way, and allowing us to use their awesome new tool system as well, their digital tool set, which was really, really, really cool, because I didn't expect them to allow us to use that. So that was really nice. And it was amazing. I mean, we had obviously an amazing narrator, D'Angelo. That was his debut as DM on Fabled. But I mean, obviously, like, he's been doing it for a while now, but it was really, really cool. He told an amazing, fun story and some anime moments with a giant Clint Geesewood, I think.
The second he put on the Naruto headband, I was like, this is it. This is my favorite one.
Having Jesse, who's the voice of Soren, being willing to join us and play with us, that was absolutely amazing. And I could not believe the level of generosity from our viewers. We hit our first $500 within 30 minutes.
Yeah, you said you haven't made it out of the tavern yet.
And, right, we didn't. And then for us to have basically raised $1,100. I mean, that was
and that was
awesome for the Bail Project.
Right.
So definitely a really, really good
stuff.
Cause, and we were really happy to do that, because I know that they were also too really supporting the stream as well. The charity was so. Really, really cool stuff, and it was a blast, and hopefully everyone who watched enjoyed it. I know we enjoyed playing it. It's an awesome system and game, so definitely pre-order, buy it. You won't regret it, and it's family friendly too, which is nice. So you can get your kids involved.
My son was super stoked. Like he binged that show, so he was super stoked.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, and another shout out to, I know you just mentioned him, but D'Angelo, like to have a debut on a thing like anything, and you being the DM and it being a
Yeah.
new system, like he was chill as a cucumber.
Yeah, no, and I even though he was like messaging me before, like I'm nervous, and I'm like, you
Yeah,
got this,
sure,
homie,
yeah,
and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't, you
yeah.
couldn't tell, like I'm like,
He was a goose on
get out
water.
of here, yeah,
Right? He
exactly,
kept it so casual. It was
You
just so
cat.
beautiful.
yes,
So, all right. Speaking of casual, I want to talk.
nice segue,
Thank you. I'm
that was
I
awesome.
told you it's a whole new show, guys. I got a red backdrop, segues, the whole thing.
It only works if he says casual. That's the power I have.
Okay,
That's
got
my
it.
only segue from here on out.
Making notes.
Okay, so I know you have a couple. Solo giving me the look of shame. So you have some projects coming up, and I want to talk to them. I just want you teased a little bit of it, tease a little bit more because like I'm dying, and let people know what's up.
So the core project, at least for Fable 42 side of things, is so Volcania is a TTRPG made by Gear Games, an Italian game making company that has given Fable 42 the opportunity to showcase it. And Volcania is based in a 19th century high fantasy steampunk era in which the world of steampunk meets magic. And I've been given the opportunity to create a campaign for Fable 42, which we have deemed Forge of Fate. We're having a collection of more than a dozen players in one super campaign to explore the many isle nations of Volcania, to explore the world using a D12 system. It's a narrative system in which one die controls all your actions at a time. So it's a very new system with a new storytelling element, and I get the chance of debuting as the storyteller campaign master for it. That's at least on the side of Fable 42 things, not counting what's happening soon for plugging up FableCon and things that are coming with that.
Sure.
There's a few exciting things on that's coming up. There's plenty more for what we'll be talking about that, but I will talk about the fact that I am doing 2 special one-shots during that. One is a Cyberpunk 2042, which is a Fable 42 version of a Cyberpunk one-shot that I have developed the adventure for, and I will be doing the first playtest release of my own Deep Breath RPG on that Monday, which is a shonen-inspired version of a 5e compatible game, which a lot of things I'm inspired through Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball, and JRPGs like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and a lot of other things that are adjacent, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where everyone gets a chance to live their anime protagonist dreams as a party.
I'm so excited.
So
we've done. I play tested a little bit of the Volcania stuff, and it's so fun. I can't wait until it's out. Like it's out in the world. It's such a cool system. Very RP heavy. So it's fun. Cool. Casual. That's all I got. Back to Utahime. Okay, so we'll go right into it. Obviously tonight's a big night. It is the premiere of Wizards, featuring your house. So what are you looking most forward to in basically all of season 3? Like what's your big look for?
I think that I'm looking forward to, like, after all of these different crazy tragic events, just kind of the resolution after, like the aftermath of everything that happened. And I think that you'll I'm pretty sure, at least with like everybody in all the houses, I kind of already see the groundwork for development as far as like different friendships and relationships and personal growth for the characters and people gaining more strength, not only inner strength but also to as we progress on and growing as wizards. I'm sure more people getting a lot stronger as far as being casters. And I know for us as players, we're still learning a lot, and I'm definitely looking forward to really maximizing.
We finished at level 8. Is that right?
That was
So we got a long way to go.
It's a long way to go for sure, but it's going to be really interesting to kind of see what happens leading up to the end. So I'm looking forward to all those the build up. I can feel it. some big things are about to happen, some changes, and new members. I'm
That's
so
true.
excited for
Yeah,
our. Of course, it's very Kazana of me to be that excited, but like for
The
our new member of our
welcoming committee.
house. Yay! I mean,
Yeah,
you guys
that's-
all remember our
Yeah.
our welcoming little thing at Silverthorn. We were very much huggy feels
Yeah.
and like, yay, let's be
Yes.
friends.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm looking forward to. I think the most is playing a 2-dimensional character. What about what about him? What are you looking forward to?
So wow, I know it's not, but it feels like a loaded question just because
Sure.
Hemian has been in the hot seat since prom. But I know, like Percy, I'm excited for the fact that I know this new season is supposed to expand into a new world of like, it's not about school anymore. Now it's about being actual wizards. Like we've all ascended, so we're all at least considered wizards. And I know for me
Right.
and Hemian, we're both excited for what that means in terms of freedom. The new season means as wizards, we're no longer constrained to our classrooms and our dorm rooms. We have a little more freedom. And so I expect that freedom to bring a lot of problems.
For sure. Oh, there's gonna be drama for sure. I can't wait. And to your point, stronger wizards means Solo can throw more stuff at us.
Yeah.
So now, just as a heads up, Solo's
I'm
happy
like,
about that.
away.
see.
And just as a heads up, there is now a current poll. They asked me to wear a shirt, and I said, "Well, poll it because that's what we're doing now." And
Wait, to not wear a shirt?
no, it says to wear a shirt with sleeves.
Oh, I was
and
like,
the-
to not wear a shirt. Okay,
No,
it's that kind of show.
I got a red velvet thing back here. But the options are yes, of course, absolutely, yup, and So thanks, Jules.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever. Okay.
Perfection.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done.
Jordan, so sort of bouncing off of that a little bit, I believe this one was from Khalees himself. Does Hemian view Khalees as a pawn in his plan, or does he really care about him?
Hemian sees every person as an individual worth something in their own life. As a necromancer, at least the way he's been taught, how Roland's taught him, and also how he grew up, every person has a value at the end of the day. That's how his family was. That's how Frostguard taught him. That's how Roland taught him when it comes to, animating. However, doesn't mean that he can't feel connections to people. So I won't say he sees Khalees as a pawn. Maybe like a bishop or a rook.
Oh God! Still,
Come
still a
on, not with
piece
Rook.
in the
You can't
game.
bring up the Rook.
Don't say rook. Yeah,
But
that's
no,
like,
too soon.
He doesn't.
Too
He
soon.
definitely isn't like. He's not. See, because the idea to me, if you see someone as a pawn, you manipulate them to a greater end. Hemian is not manipulating anyone to a greater end. However, there are people around him that he could benefit from, but he also believes they could mutually benefit from him as well. So Hemian always believes you can always help someone as long as you can help them, and it's not an equivalent exchange, but at least an exchange of effort.
Do you so to the pawn point? You do not think that he is easily expendable?
No, not definitely not by a long shot. That much is, I believe, very clear, despite Hemian's predisposition of not expressing his emotions about anyone else.
Sure. Ferrex just put in chat, Rook just became the boogeyman. I disagree. The Rook's head is rolling around somewhere on the floor. Trayvonis, on the other hand, would be. But
No, didn't
Rook,
Hemian pick it up?
Hemian is
That's
holding
true.
the body
That's-
and head of Rook.
that's disgusting. You're gonna
Yeah.
please, will you do me one favor? Just morph it with your beholder and make
Just
like a Rook
See, I
beholder.
imagine it differently. I remember Nightmare Before Christmas when the little kid is like, "What did you get for Christmas?" And then it's like the head, and then like the mother starts screaming. That's what I picture. So
Look, Ma,
like-
I ascended and I got this.
I'm just saying, I want a whole chess set, but it's okay. I already got one Rook.
oh
That's the
my
worst.
god.
And I don't even care. Cool. All right, moving on. So, man, I messed this up. Hold on one second. My thing went haywire. Okay, so how does Ash feel about feelings? How is she navigating them currently? Changing directions here.
I think, as probably most viewers have seen, she's still struggling with it because she's
Sure.
but she's having those moments like when she had word vomit multiple times by saying the expression friends, and then she's like trying to correct herself. Like, I think that she's kind of getting used to the group now, and she's trying to figure out what it is that she feels towards everyone, but it's definitely becoming more friendly. Like as there's like still there's growth happening, especially now that she's been having these dreams, these flashes of her past. I think she's kind of dealing with a lot of PTSD and those different things, which it's forcing her to kind of come to terms with certain things that she kind of kept hidden. So even though she may have wanted it to just stay inside, it's slowly but surely creeping out, and she's trying to process it. I think the best way she can.
Sure.
Given obviously the type of environment that the wasteland is. So she's doing the best that Ash can, and I think that we'll continue to see as the journey continues that kind of those slow changes. I think that it's definitely been a process for her, and it will continue to be one.
Awesome. I have a follow-up, but I wanted to give a shout out to Fire and Flames Cometh. Thanks for the raid.
Yay.
So back to the point. So one of the things I was curious about, just from like a psychological standpoint, just wanted to get your take on. So is the fact that Ash is having dreams and becoming vulnerable helping her find solace in the group, or is it vice versa? The fact that she's getting more comfortable around the group, that she can be vulnerable. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, because
no, totally. I feel like being in this group, like the longer that she's a part of the group, there's certain things that even like, for example, with Tipper, having certain moments where Tipper's kind of opening up to her, and even like, for example, showing her the photo from her past, and kind of little things like that, and kind of there being certain, even though it seems like there's not much in common, there's still like things here and there that Ash can kind of connect to, even if not entirely. So I think that that's very much what's going on right now, is that the longer that she's with them, I think things are kind of coming to the surface a little bit more, even if she didn't expect it or didn't want that to happen. I think it's just kind of a natural thing at this point.
And I think a lot of that is going to evolve based on, so like the small actions, like setting the water bottle down beside Petra and Clay, when they go to sleep, and then getting that sort of positive affirmation. I don't think it happened then, but just sort of those little things like that that are going to sort of mount up and change.
Yeah, like you'll see that, and the way that she's been kind of looking after Clay because of what happened. There's a reason why when Petra ran away, why it stuck with Ash a certain way, and that's because of the fact that something connected, and we'll find you guys will find out a little bit more obviously as the story continues, but there's a reason why that really kind of hit her, and she was kind of a little bit protective of Clay in that instance. So
sure. And speaking of Clay, the question that everyone wants to know, what does Clay think Pond's knowledge of Petra is?
So this,
I know what I think I know, but
I don't want to be spoilery because I feel like that'll spoil.
Yeah, we're right on the cusp of this conversation, but still,
I will tell you that, just to make sure everyone has the context. Clay and Petra were getting really close. Petra did, when Petra left Clay a note, a goodbye love letter. And I use love specifically for that reason.
We still don't know what's in that, do we? We never got that. Yeah, that's right.
It's sitting there just for, which I think will eventually be released for the fans, and I believe at least the Patreon. We'll see what happens. So, people Patreon for extra content for this reason, including the fact that Clay has made several holotapes that I believe will also be released through all that. But Petra did write a love letter
about that.
saying goodbye to Clay in numerous detail points. And after all that said and done, keeping in mind that Clay also did make an assumption based on the fact Petra said another man's name in her sleep.
Yeah.
And then he left him. And then someone in this place, which may be connected to her past that she told him about, says something about Petra that he knows. So I will just connect the dots for you to determine what you think is going through Clay's head.
Sure. I know what's going through Clay's head.
Clay makes a lot of assumptions, so that's all I can say about that.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm dying for obviously he's dying right now, I think
Yeah,
actually.
that's
He's,
acceptable.
yeah, he's legitimately dying right now. But I can't wait for the battle to be over to just have all this I can't wait for all the conversations.
And segue to promote Patreon more. Speaking of love, if you want to see what Othello and Kazana were chatting about and how their love blossomed, make sure to sign up for that Patreon so you can see those letters and those messages and scenes. Yeah.
That's right.
There's a lot of behind the scenes for a lot of shows that are kind of like helping us do character development that kind of happens off camera. Notes, letters that you hear about, conversations that might happen in passing during that downtime during Wizards, and just saying a lot of that is going to start coming up. And it's a lot of really good information, including some details related to romance, drama, and Ascension beyond Ascension.
Oh.
Yeah, it's I will say, Solo asked Diane and I for ours. We were like, yeah, we didn't really write any.
Vegan writes yes on a note, and that is.
And thank Lizzie. Thank you for helping with that, because she made it happen for before our birthdays, because me and Ben actually have the same birthday. It was before Valentine's Day, so yeah, that's why we wanted to try to push that out at that time. So, but it's still up there, I think.
It's super cool. There is a ton of information. We did talk a little bit. There wasn't any sort of juicy love notes because it's Stegan. But
that would have been really funny though.
I know, like you just blah, yeah, no.
Like he's
Anna,
very stoic.
Anna, where art thou, Anna?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
7 pages of undying love that says hello.
I mean, I will say that the notes that I wrote, which I wrote primarily to Lizzie's character, Lily, Kai, and I did write a few to Anna, and they were, I mean, pretty substantial. I mean, they were paragraph form, so I mean he did write a lot, but he did whatever. They're not good, they're not juicy, because he would never talk about anything, but there are a lot of other good notes on there that I've read. Okay, so I just asked that. I wanted to ask this about Ash. So, and this kind of leads in from the other question, maybe it's about Clay too, but so without the prospect of the huge payday, why is Ash so willing to help on this particular mission into Robco that they know is extremely dangerous and things?
Well, I think a big part of it is definitely smash all the bots.
Sure.
Definitely.
Oh, it is Robco. Yeah, that's true.
That's a huge incentive. Like the fact that she could, and she actually sort of stands a little bit, even though she would never admit it, a better chance of surviving because there's a whole squad versus just her versus like all the Assaultrons and
sure,
Mr. Handy's in there. But I think also too, at this point, she kind of does understand that the importance of kind of sticking together at this point as far as survival is concerned. And,
but she doesn't have any like stake in like the Harry and Petra game, right? Does she?
No. I think that she's also too like kind of going back a little bit. Like there's not only to kill the robots, but also to I think to kind of be there for like, especially like I think with Clay, what happened. It's kind of like her way of kind of helping, but and the best she can. Like I will smash things for you. Feel better, friend. Not friend.
Smash, you smile.
Yeah, so it's kind of like layered, like there's like, and she's again she's getting used to the group the longer that she's with them, but it's
I love it though, because it's like I'm trying to find my long lost love. I'm trying to find my father or whatever, my maker. I want to kill some robots. Like
yeah. I mean,
not every adventure requires this
works.
Item.
It is the perfect. It's for your character. That is like the perfect payoff. Like, oh, we're going to a place where they used to make robots. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna.
Yeah, they didn't really have to push that hard.
Yeah.
The other stuff, it's like, robots in.
Yeah.
Like yes.
As you saw, she was very, very excited to be destroying that Handy last episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the creepy smile and stuff too. Again, can't wait to see what Bond, once he picks himself up from unconsciousness, thinks of that. He's gonna be an interesting character. Like, okay, so just real quick, you guys both interacted with him, and I guess Clay, you sort of have your opinion, but like quick shot opinions. Like, what are your characters thinking of this individual? I mean, based on the way he looks and what he's doing to help and all that sort of stuff. Like, are you just whatever? Like, are you guys in the moment right now, not thinking of anything other than the fact that there's someone there to help you, or do you think he's an enemy, or what are your characters thinking in the moment there?
Like how we're thinking about Pond.
Yeah.
I can tell you like the most surface thoughts when it comes to Pond is another guy in this factory that we're saving so they can go back home with the women.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's how Clay's mentality is, strictly about that. So it's like, no matter what's going on, his goal is stop all these people. Because not only that, truth be told, Clay has no care about so much saving the people as much as he's doing something he said he was going to promise to do for Petra. That's his entire motive right now is, I know that this will help Petra, or at least hopefully allow Petra to travel freely, no longer have to worry about the armadillos being in full force. So he can care less about
One of the things that I thought was surprising, it wasn't this past episode, I think it was an episode before this one. This is when you guys were still in town. There was like a slightly, it was nuanced, but it was a little darker for Clay, where he ran into, what's her name, the lady that made the sword, and she was like, hey, thanks for helping. He's like, I'm not doing that for you, or you know what I mean, or whatever. It was like, oh shit, okay, sorry, like, you know what I mean, like
Ash is rubbing off on him.
Well, that's, I mean, like he could have like it felt like to me that like Clay 4 or 5 episodes ago would have just shrugged it off and was like, oh yeah, no problem, even though it may not have been the reason. But now he's just like, I'm not doing it for you. Like it was kind of.
And I will say, like, a big reason of his like demeanor changing is everything that's happened. A lot of his background is slowly becoming more and more relevant, and that's frustrating. When it's one of those, when you run away from something because you hate it, and then you realize it actually helped you, it makes you even more mad because they were right.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I think it's starting to weigh on him, everything that's like that, all that pressure is finally coming back to the point where he can't escape it.
Yeah.
This is
a
also
lot of people facing that.
Yeah, because there was also that fact that we did bring up that someone was looking for Clay.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, we have a question, sort of. I'm curious to know if it relates to it or not, so I'll go ahead and ask it now. I think it was Renee that asked this too, but it says, what does the color pink mean to Clay? Is that tied to your backstory at all?
It actually kind of is. So pink is actually the color that his mother chose to give him, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So like growing up, I could say he grew up in a tougher lifestyle. So wearing pink was one of those things that was kind of frowned upon. I mean, old school living, even though Fallout's in the future, it's still set in like retro times.
Sure, yeah.
So like his mother giving him pink and telling him to be proud in that is what it means for him. It's the fact that pink is what he holds to his mother, to his identity, especially being because he's non-binary.
Right.
And he doesn't feel like the color defines him, so he should be allowed to just like the color. Granted, most people don't like the fact that he wears pink because he wears black as stealth and then flashy pink on top.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think I've made that joke a couple of times actually, trying to sneak in bright highlighter colors.
Hey, look, if Naruto can do it, Clay can do it.
That's fair. He does wear bright orange. That's fair.
And he rocks that pink.
No, he does. Yeah. Although I guess you did, sort of take it into account this past time because you swapped it out, right?
Yeah, because it's reversible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so sort of back on the pawn train, D'Angelo asked this. So Utahime, of all the characters you play with, which one do you feel like you'd be real life homies with? Definitely his work.
Oh man. See, that's a difficult question because there's different parts of kind of like I put so much love into all the characters, so it's hard to kind of say because it's like I would still, there's still parts of me that would hang with Ash because of the fact that I'm like get this this girl some good Viking beer,
Yeah, right.
and let's see if this demeanor changes.
Right.
With Kizana, because she's so sweet and so like kind of like the type to like listen and want to get to know you, obviously, she also would be very much
It's
someone who's, like,
situational.
a
If you're
natural.
going to the bar for the evening,
Yeah, if you're going to the
not
bar, like
taking-
that one like rough and tough person who at
Yeah.
the bar, but who has a lot of like stories to tell that are
Yeah.
like pretty intense but really interesting. Like you might, like with Ash, go like axe throwing or something. Like
Yep.
you know what I mean? So yeah, it's yeah, situational is definitely the right term, because I can see like with Kizana, that's your lifelong pal, like
Yeah, right.
your BFF. With
Right.
Ash, it's like the person who you probably hang out with for certain reasons. Also, too, if you ever got into any type of like heated situation where you needed some backup,
Right.
call on Ash.
But if
and Ash
you're
will come.
proven to your parents that you're not a failure and you're using your friends to do it, you're gonna bring Kazana over. And
Yeah.
be like, "Look, see, this is my friend.
Yeah, no, I kind of like I'm a good
Yeah.
I'm a good
Yeah,
person.
I'm a
Let's
good
go hang out.
human.
Yeah, right.
And then
Yeah.
afterwards go drinking with Ash.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Well, actually, now I'm curious. Casual. Same question. Who would you hang out with of your characters? Who would be the most fun to hang out with?
So look, real talk. I believe Hemi would be the most fun, but I know Hemi enough to know Hemi wouldn't want to hang out with me. Like real talk, I would try to hang out with Hemi, and Hemi would be like, "Ooh,
Hemian's too cool for the creator.
yeah." Hemian is definitely gonna look at me and be like, "Yeah, you go over there, buddy."
Yeah.
I think out of like Rex would probably be like my best friend.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because Rex and I, like, Rex is not, and it's based on like how I make my characters is why, but like Rex is the most, despite having a god complex in his own right, he's also the most down to earth out of all of them.
It's
Yeah.
fair.
Like,
True.
even though he has his god complex, it's not that he has a god complex. The god complex has been instilled upon him,
Right.
and he's learning how to live life. I mean, he's still 17, adventuring across country lines into foreign areas, and talking to gods like it's nothing. It's a lot, and so I think I could resonate just hanging out and learning with him.
Yeah. I think he would be, again, situational. I think, but I think he would be fun to hang out with. Because I don't know, he just seems like that person that I don't know, is always going to know something. You like, it's going to be hard to get in a situation where he's not of some use. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like you always have some new information, new knowledge, prepare for something. You want to know the best alcohol, the best bars, and anything.
Right.
He's like, I got you. I know exactly where, what, when, why, how, everything about it.
Cool. I'm sitting here thinking about mine now. Definitely wouldn't be Thegan.
You would think it'd be great. You both don't
It
work.
wouldn't be thinking.
It's true. No, he's a pain in the ass. I really like my character on Volcania, but we haven't really talked about him too much. But he's awesome.
You know what? You and Eli would get along mostly.
Yeah. He's more of the character that I typically play, which is the sort of cool as cucumber, smart ass type character. So that's more my line. Yeah.
I think Eli wouldn't want to hang out with you though after a while.
No, it's another Hemian situation.
It's a
He's way cooler than me. way cooler.
When you play a character that says, "Oh, you can't sit with us," you're like, "Oh, I made you though."
Right. I guess I'll go over here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes. So speaking of characters, particularly the ones that Utahime has played. You have like crazy range. It's been noted across the board between two, obviously Ash and Kizana. But so is there a character type that you want to explore in the future?
Yes. Well, actually, I would love to play a male character, which I actually already kind of created this fun male tiefling who basically is kind of like, it's like non-binary, like, basically kind of gender fluid, very, very like gets mistaken for a female often, but kind of uses that and their charm to kind of get their way. So it's kind of like I have already this character set aside for like hopefully like to use one day, because I've always wanted to always wanted to play a tiefling. when I like kind of dove down the D&D
Mhm.
TTRPG rabbit hole. I was like,
They're
I
neat.
want to play a fun tiefling that basically is like technically not morally, good,
Mhm.
but they kind of, are so entertaining and so fun to be around that sometimes people kind of like look the other way. So,
Right.
but I definitely was like, I want to play like not just like stick with my like she her pronouns. I want to try to like play a different type of character, and I definitely see myself doing that one day. So hopefully that happens soon. That'll be fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. My upcoming character is very much in the vein of Kizana, which is just this overtly positive beacon of light, and that is a big step for me. I usually play the very pessimistic characters, so
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting, but I'm excited to try it out. I think so not
Yeah.
vegan is what Ferric said. Yeah, the exact
Not
literally what I did was
Yeah.
when Taryn and I were sort of doing this whole meta thing with our
Yeah.
characters, we talked about what would be the replacements, and I literally just like made a list of the things that vegan was, and I'm like, all right, well, what's the opposite of this? And I did that. What's the opposite of this? And I did that.
Yeah.
So he is the
Yeah.
exact opposite of.
So you're going to
Yeah.
be a 3 foot tall, scrawny ball of joy.
Yes, that's
I
exactly
love
what I
that.
am.
But it's fun though playing
I'm a
like
pixie.
but it's fun kind of doing that. Like I've never played a sly kind of character, and like not like one that's like more like it's
Yeah.
so I kind of like, oh, I want to play a character that basically is kind of, like not good, but then not totally bad, like kind of somewhere in
It's
between, but also too very it sounds weird, sleazy. Is that a
yeah,
weird
no.
a slime ball of a character?
But you want
that
to play
can't-
Hemian.
Yes.
Well, the thing
Actually,
is, I mean, that's the beauty of this entire game, right? You get to sort of pick things that you don't or won't
Yeah.
normally do.
Like I would.
The problem is that you got to sort of get over this hump of like, because you're gonna have to RP it, and you're like, I don't know if I can be this person.
Yeah.
So
That's always the scary part, because you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm gonna totally fail. People.
yeah,
will
but then once you
hate
get into it,
this.
you're just like, yeah, as long as you lean
Yeah.
into it, you're fine.
Yeah. You just got to
Um,
go all in or nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Terrence says that my character's still taller than hers. My character has two forms. Okay, in my giant form, I might be, but in my pixie form, I am probably the smallest character ever.
You're just gonna be taking potions in large self. Just
Yeah, I am literally Tinkerbell. Okay, so now that we're back on Wizards, I guess. Casual. Will Hemian still be having his tea parties?
I believe Hemian will still attempt to have tea parties. Yes.
Yeah. What can you share about the tea parties?
With
Yeah.
with who though?
details.
Yeah,
Details.
give me details on the.
Because
on the-
Crixie's gone.
Look.
Wait.
Is Crixie gone?
Wait. What?
Look. Tea parties are tea parties are tea parties, right? People go to these parties.
No, hold on, no. No, there aren't.
So
Oh my god.
it's weird because tea parties started off very innocent. I'm not gonna lie. It was literally just to be the idea of tea parties. But there was the idea that we were all entering a college area in which we couldn't leave the school.
Sure.
And Hemian is known to be back home a party animal and met people who also party hard. And I would like to blame Rook and Khalees because they invited Hemian to a broom closet one time. And that just snowballed into tea parties. And that's all I can say about tea parties. Also, we have green tea, chamomile, lemon,
Nice.
Earl.
Lame. I know there's more to that story.
Well, first of all, okay, and this is the thing. It's Kizana invited because Kizana is known for drinking tea and like scones. That's like her thing.
Please God,
I will tell
don't
you,
defile her.
Kizana has been, I believe most of the class has been invited to the tea party, if not by Hemian. I know Crixie has stated that Bridget stated that Crixie has invited people to the tea party with the Zomboys.
Okay, so the Zomboys, I think, probably went to the wrong room and dropped off an invitation elsewhere, because she has.
I can't
gotten
imagine
this yet.
Kizana getting invitations from Zomboys.
Yeah, because the Zomboys go, like, the idea of the tea party, like, I know Kai has been invited to the tea party, which was supposed to be just tea. I want to emphasize that it's supposed to be just tea.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
No one
all right,
does.
cool.
It's okay.
Okay.
I don't believe me.
Yeah. All right. Utahime, back on Ash.
Yes.
Do you think that leaving the man, I hate when April makes me say this word, protectron deactivated was the right decision? Do you think leaving it deactivated was the right decision?
So that was
Okay, I
probably,
got two answers. I want
okay.
Ash's answer and I want
Okay.
Utahime's answer.
So Ash, absolutely not. That was the best decision. She wanted to self-destruct this thing or make it self-destruct and blow up and hopefully maybe go into the area where there were like other like, you know, people
like a bomb.
and then
Yeah.
boom. Yeah. Like that was the plan, the game plan.
Yeah.
Now Utahime, the player, was like, this is technically turning it on as an ally. It's like the best. That's a really good plan, solid plan. But I was just like, I'm the type that will play to my character to a T. Like that's not something Ash would do. So even though there's that part of me that's like wants to metagame, I'm like, it wouldn't make sense because people would be like, she's having an ally as a role, you know, because then it becomes this whole thing with like Tipper and like, well then, you know, yeah. So I'm like, nah, Ash is just, she's not gonna turn that thing on.
It's
I wanted to so badly.
It was one of those decisions that
it was tough.
It's like well hell, it's like all of Casual's decisions. But it's like Rex specifically, right? When he was like not fighting, like I don't know if Ronan could make that decision. Like it's so
it's
tough.
Hard decision when you know what the smart move is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to play hard enough to your character, you're like, I know being smart would be to turn on the Protectron. But I saw like the look in Utahime behind Ash's eyes, being like, I want to. I do.
Yeah.
I swear, guys, but I can't.
Can I think of an RP reason why this makes sense?
Yeah, and realistically, at this point, Ash doesn't have any motivation to want to like even be close to robots unless she's
Like
beating
honestly,
the crap out of them.
That's a moment like if I would give inspiration for that because you know what the good move would be, but you chose to make a character decision despite being
So
told.
tough.
You can hear the DM being like, you can make it an ally.
Because in my head I was like, if I turned on the thing would go after the Assaultron, like it. Yeah, and I was just like, God dang it! I'm like, I hope we don't die
So
because
tough.
of this decision.
Yeah,
Lord, yeah,
that's true, 100%. Let's see what's happening. Okay, we got a couple more minutes here. Okay, I think this one was from D'Angelo for Jordan. What kind of scenes do you enjoy writing the most?
Oh, that is. I was not ready for like a casual question.
Let's go to casual questions.
So, I am a huge fan of ethical and moral decisions. I love writing scenes that make you question your own morality. So, like when it comes to scenes, like I'm a huge like the whole trolley conundrum of one person versus five, and then if one was a doctor, five was this. I like writing scenes that make you have to think, well, what would I do in that moment? So that you can put yourself in the shoes of the character and really feel that anxiety. I want to induce anxiety in any scene. I want you to feel that moment of like the frustration, the anxiety, the pain of the moment. My characters are all based off that. Like when I designed Rex to be incapable of sincerely fighting so that when everybody's fighting and everyone's dying, he can't help anyone because I want that anxiety induction. I wanted to put Olden to be super capable at fighting, but always this arrogance that puts him away from everyone. So when it comes down to it, he seems more isolated. Same thing with Clay, keeping his secret. That's something that makes him feel anxiety about being able to help and therefore always putting him at arm's reach from everyone. I love writing the feeling of anxiety because I feel like it's the most human emotion we can really convey. And that is the scene I will always enjoy writing until the end of my days.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, I agree. I think that I think in more general terms, I don't know if I like to induce anxiety, although that is fun. But just the thought-provoking scenes are some of my favorite that get you to question something that either you've already questioned and maybe question it differently, or something that you've never even thought about. That's sort of what I like to do in my writing. Okay, cool. So it is almost time. So I want to do this game. I want to start playing games with my guests just to get to know you or your character better. So what I thought we'd do is just do a quick round of 2 truths and a lie. You can tell me if it's about you or your character, and then the other 2 plus the chat will weigh in, and we will have to hopefully guess correctly. So we will do Utahime. You want to go first?
2 truths and a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing. Are we doing it for ourselves and
do
the
either one.
characters? I have a whole thing set up for each thing. So just tell me what you need.
Let's do you.
Is that part of the game? Is that part of the game to know?
No, I don't want to try to guess for
like
for
who
a
it is.
fictional character. We'll do you. I want to get to know you guys as people better.
Okay.
So we'll do, and that way then I'll do it too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've met Matt Damon before because of my boyfriend's family connection to his wife.
Okay.
I've actually traveled to Japan twice, and I almost stayed the second time because I love Japan so much.
Like moved there the second time?
Yeah, like I almost
wow.
basically didn't want to get back on the plane.
Sure.
Because obvious reasons. And my friend and I actually got paid $20 and got free drinks from some people overseas during karaoke because we were that good. They paid us to sing a song from the Drifters, and yeah, we got free drinks for the rest of the night and got paid. Karaoke, man. Karaoke times.
Okay, chat. What do you think? We got Matt Damon, trips to Japan, and free drinks plus being paid to sing. Free drinks is at overseas is a lot. That's what Ferrick says.
Yeah, free drinks and $20.
And $20.
Sing that song from the Drifters.
Al thinks it's Matt Damon. Okay, Casual, what are you thinking?
I'm going with the free drinks.
I don't know. That seems legit. Chill says paid to sing. All right.
Paid to sing? Wow.
I think it's Japan. I think she's been to Japan more than 2 times.
Oh, I didn't even think about like little nuance crap like that. I don't know. Let's go with the karaoke.
And that's what you say, Jordan?
Yeah.
Final answer.
It's my final.
Is that your
I'm
final
pretty sure
answer?
the free drinks, but I'm going the free drinks is a lie.
The lie actually was Japan. I've never traveled outside the country.
My god!
Outside of North America, I've only traveled to Canada,
Oh.
and obviously places in the US. But that's my dream, so I had to make it kind of like close enough to like in my head like truth. Like I wish that was the case.
Yeah, for sure. And now
I actually did get paid. I got paid.
That's
It
cool.
was at the Gaslight in Santa Monica. Me and my friend, we were singing and doing our regular like songs that we normally do for karaoke, and yeah, and this group was like, "Oh, you guys are fantastic. We want to hear you. Can you sing this song for me? I'll pay you $20 and pay for your drinks the entire night. That however long you're here." And we're like, "Okay, bet." And then we did it. And with Matt Damon, it was at the premiere of Endgame when I got invited. My boyfriend was cosplaying Tony Stark. I was cosplaying Gamora. He actually saw Matt Damon's wife and called her by a name that, you know, like kind of like a nickname. And she came to like, cause he's like, hey, like, you know, I'm like, and introduced him. And she's like, oh yeah, oh my God, yes, of course I know, you know, and like they were catching up. Matt Damon came by cause he was kind of like, who's talking to my wife?
Sure.
And then she's like, this is so and so's brother, blah, blah, blah. And then yeah, legit, that's how I like. And then he's like, hey, this is my girlfriend. That's how I met Matt Damon on the
Holy
purple
crap.
carpet. Yeah,
That's awesome.
pretty crazy because it's like, what the heck? This is Matt Damon.
Yeah,
how did your
sure.
family know that? It was cool though.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Awesome. All right, your turn, Jordan.
All right, 2 truths and a lie.
Yep.
Okay, so when I was 18 and still in high school, I actually ran and won the mayoral campaign for my hometown in Lancaster, California. I was a member of, and the second one is I was a member of an underground fight club back in high school across multiple different high schools where the wrestling team would meet for money. And I once hung out with James Franco at an Edward Sharpe and a Magnetic Zeros, and we got while the filming of one of his movies, and he smoked me out.
One of those is fake, and two of those.
Oh my god.
Or one.
Okay. There's a part of me that's like, okay, hold on. Let me. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Jeez Louise, that's tough.
The Fight Club one is so crazy that I
But
want
it
to say
sounds
it's
like
real.
what is it?
Yeah, like
But it sounds like God of High School, which is a webtoon that got turned into a show.
that's true. That is true.
So that's a little bit like I'm like, that's an anime, that's a webtoon idea, but it's crazy enough that it could be real. But I also too am like, is that God of High School? The James Franco one is so elaborate that I'm like, I think that could be real. But I'm between the first and second. I'm between the first and second. Crap.
I want to say the second one. The Fight Club thing is just so far out there. What do you think?
I'm gonna say the first one. Because I'm gonna say the first, the
mayoral campaign.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. We've literally talked about the mayor campaign. I don't remember the details may be different though. Like that's the thing.
Then I changed my.
Yeah, no, I know he ran.
So now I'm like, crap.
No, I know he ran for mayor. I know that's true, but I don't know.
Okay.
I think he almost won though.
Second one. Then I gotta go with God of High School. I gotta go with my.
Yeah, I'm doing the high school. I'm doing the high school.
God of High School.
So that's the high school.
Yes.
Fight Club.
Yes.
Well, the lie is the fact that I actually did not win the mayoral campaign in Lancaster. I did submit my name. The lie is I did not win. I did. I was part of an underground fight club at high school in which 8 high schools would meet monthly and organize fight to, win money. And I was I worked security at the Magnetic Zero, Edward Sharpe at the Magnetic Zeros, and he was filming a movie with Jack, I think was her name. And I told him I was working to be a screenwriter, and he spent time with me and some of the crew and smoking and talking about my script.
That's
that one seemed pretty.
God, I'm East
real.
Coast. I have no celebrity stories. Unless you know who Jessica White is.
No, do not.
Yeah, look him up. He's fantastic. He's a tap dancing outlaw. Okay, so I swear to God, actually, chat, if you don't know who Jessica White is, look him up. It's insane. Okay, so I'll do. That's crazy. I can't get over that. All right, so I'll do one quick because we're running out of time. So all right, so my ones are I am halfway to my black belt in karate. I am 6'4", and the third one is my parents once abandoned me with strangers and had to spend the whole evening trying to remember the faces of who they gave me to.
You're 6'4". You're not 6'4".
Yeah, I'm gonna say 6'4".
6'4"?
Yep.
It's called school. It's called school, Ronan. No, it wasn't my school they dropped me off to. It was
like, I believe you're tall, but I think 6'4" is a stretch.
Yeah, like you're not 6'4". You can't be.
Okay. The lie is I'm 6'5".
Well, but okay.
So because you're taller than I
you're
thought.
taller.
Yeah, yes, I am. So that was a lie. You're right.
I wish I was a little bit taller.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep. So I
thought you were like 5'9". I'm not gonna lie.
That's the problem with only ever seeing people's shoulders on here.
Those look like 5'9" shoulders to me, you know?
it's the Zoom
I was saying like
something.
6. I was thinking 6'2", 6'3". So I totally didn't know it was 6'5".
You are a lot taller than I thought. By like, oh.
Yeah.
It's only because I'm 5'9" on a good day, and that's with this hair.
It's true. Yeah, I don't have any hair. Yeah, but so my what was the I am halfway. That just happened yesterday. I got promoted to my basically the middle rank right before halfway to black belt. And the story with me is my sister fell off a high dive and hit the concrete. She's okay, nothing ever happened. But basically in my parents' freak out, they basically said, who lives in X neighborhood? and 2 people raised their hands and they gave me to them so that they could go to the hospital with my sister. Once everything was good there, they then actually forgot who they gave me to and had to go around my neighborhood knocking on doors until they found me.
That sounded so crazy that it was
Yeah.
like, I was like, that definitely happened. I
Yeah,
see
and
that like
that's-
parents freaking out. And then
Yeah,
just
and
doing
that's how abandonment issues are born. So-
I just picture, excuse me, did I leave a child with you?
That's
No.
exactly what
Did I
happened.
leave a child with you?
He's about yay high.
I was,
you
I think
know.
4 at the time, 4 or 5.
He already
so.
has a beard, full beard.
It's true. Yeah, he's a tiny child with a beard. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for indulging me in my game. Thank you guys for being on the show. Utahime, you want to start with your sort of exit stuff where people can find you?
Yes. You can find me at Utahime Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, and here on Twitch, and Brianna DeCoster on Twitter. And of course, you're going to catch me tonight. So stick around as Kazana Moonshadow for the Silverthorn, House Silverthorn doing their thing. And then also to tomorrow, 6:30 for Vault42 as Ash.
Dope. Jordan.
Jordan, better known as Casual Campbell. All social media at casual_Campbell for all your awesome motivational and writing needs. Stay tuned for many more things coming your way with Forge of Fate, Volcania gear games, and also, like I said, I'm working on my own TTRPG. Stay tuned for many releases of 5E shonen inspired content, and I'm excited to bring that for you. But right now, I guess the important thing is, the wizarding house that's not Frostguard, I guess.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Third best.
I don't know, maybe
Number
4th or
one.
5th best.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, that was great. I'm Ron Fox. You can find me at Ron Fox on Instagram and now Twitter, sort of. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining me. You guys, again, send your suggestions. Anything you guys want to see on the show, put it in the Fawks Talks Discord channel. We'll try it out. We'll see what you guys like. And that's pretty much it. So until next time, for Fox's sake, be nice to one another.
Raffle code.
Oh, raffle code, Silverthorn. Enter it for the Between Show giveaway. Silverthorn.